What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down Denzel Mims and his route running ability. Guys, this video is done by request, so please, if you have any requests that you'd like to give me, please leave those in the comments. And guys, if you would like me to take a look at your route running, check out that link in the description, guys, underneath film breakdowns. I hope I can help you guys out in this time we're all locked up and give you some insight on your throwing mechanics, your route running, just anything that you would like to break me down. Hope to get you guys signed up. Let's get into this breakdown. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is this hitch route. We're going to talk about how in a short period of time, really only 5 yards, we can push vertical, and how to be physical at the top of the route. Okay, so let's watch this thing full speed. So coming off here, push vertical, swat him by, stop right on the dime, and catch this ball. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how immediately when we come off the line, we give him a little bit of this hesitation move, but you see how he's not spending a lot of time right here. See, what a lot of people do is they're patient, but they're not quick off of it, right? They call it patient but sudden. I've heard that term thrown around a little bit. We want to be patient but quick at the exact same time off the line of scrimmage. I don't want to spend forever doing this hesitation move because this quarterback's just catching and throwing here. Let's see this quarterback's footwork. He's taking a 3-step drop, 1 hitch, get the ball out, right? So this is like maybe a smash concept here, okay, when we break it down from quarterback footwork. So what I got to be able to do is I can't waste a whole lot of time here. I got to get off this thing fast, burst up field. Now, when I get in and out of this break here, you see his pad level. He's looking forward. He's got a good pad level with his shoulders. Everything about this looks like he's just trying to go hesitate and then burst up field. And we're going to see later in the clip how this can build off of a fade route or a dig route or something where you could push vertical and now the DB's felt your speed. Now I just snap it off. Now, he's going to be snapping off this inside leg here. I like this inside leg because on a like a hitch route or a stop route, if we go inside leg first, we could get in and out of this break in really just 2 steps because we don't have to really come back to the ball. The ball should be out. So you see how he's pushing up vertical. Now he snaps down on that second inside, but as he's snapping down, you see what his right hand's doing. We're throwing this DB by at his right shoulder. We got to be physical. We got to attack the shoulder. The points of good control: shoulder, elbow, and arm. Back of the arm, shoulder, and elbow. So you see how he's swatting him by here, and while he's swatting him by, he's putting the brakes on in stride, and he's dropping his hips, getting in this explosive position. We want to use this DB as almost like a wall that we're going to push off of. I don't want to be soft with this. I want to be aggressive, swat him by, drop my hips, and I'm in and out of this thing in 2 steps, and you see the separation he's able to get. Quarterback throws this thing on time. It's a great route here by Denzel Mims. So again, push vertical, drop your hips. As you're dropping, you're swatting this DB by. Let's watch it again. So burst up. Swat him by, right by the shoulder, get back to this ball. It's a great route here. So now we're going to be looking at this out and up route. We're going to talk about how just your speed is what's going to help you on this kind of a route, okay? So let's watch it full speed. So he's coming out here, break, 1, 2, 3. Eyes to the inside, doesn't get a whole lot of separation from this DB, but it's able to make a play. Well, he gets enough separation, I should say. I think he could have gotten more, and we're going to talk about why. So coming off the line of scrimmage here, right? So he makes this break. Now, when he comes to this out route, you see how he's starting to peek back, right? But his shoulders are still drifting upfield, okay? So this is the problem with that. I think if he cuts his shoulders a little bit flatter, this DB gets a little bit more greedy and tries to undercut this thing a lot faster. So what draws this DB in is just this little peek back, right? I'm peeking back for the ball. This DB's kind of feeling my speed. He's feeling that I'm drifting to the outside, so he's going to try to undercut it. I could get a little bit more here, but still, if I could get my eyes back to the quarterback and still be fast and commit my shoulders, because a lot of people don't want to spend too much time on this outbreak, right? Because maybe it's a quicker developing play. Maybe they've been coached not to. When they make this out route, they're anxious to get upfield because they know this ball's going to be up soon, right? So if I could still come off this break fast, I could drive off of my plant leg here, pump my arms and get flat on this 90-degree angle, shoot my eyes back and commit my shoulders. DB's going to be greedy and try to jump this thing, okay? Because who wouldn't? He's not going to guess, oh, it's an out and up. He's going to try to jump this out route, or at least play this out route. So when we decide to make a break, we're going to get some space. But you see how he's kind of drifting upfield here? It's really like he's going 1, 2, 3, and he's off this thing. Now, he's making this break 1, 2, 3, and he's just drifting upfield. That's what I'm trying to get at right here. I want to make sure that I'm getting flatter. But you see head and shoulder movement when he sticks on this route, which gets this a little bit of a bite from this DB, right? But we still could get more. And then he bursts upfield, and he's not looking right away. He's still pumping his arms, and he's not looking until he gets this DB by about a step. But we could have gotten more separation if I commit my shoulders and I give my eyes a little bit more back to the quarterback, okay? But still, great route here. And then over the top, I think he shows his hands a little bit early-ish, but because you see how he's going up right here, I would like to wait till the last second and make my hands late so this DB doesn't have time to recover, okay? But still, that's a hell of a play right there by Denzel Mims. I'm not trying to knock the play here. It's still a great job coming out of this break fast. It's just he's got a little bit of a drift upfield. If he could try to get a little bit more flatter on this 90-degree angle, it's really going to draw this DB in. He's going to have to take a flat angle to this ball. I hit my left foot on that third step, and I push vertical, okay? So let's watch this route again, full speed. So coming out here, break, 1, 2, 3, eyes to the outside, or eyes back to the quarterback. Just need to commit those shoulders a little bit more. Great catch over the top. So now what we're going to be looking at here is just a straightaway fade, okay? So now we talked about how this sets up in the very first clip, but also what we're going to be talking about is the route after this is going to be a comeback off of a very similar release and how we could get a DB to kick up into second gear, okay? So let's watch this route full speed. So gets his hands off, bursts upfield, got that head down. Now he's looking back for the ball, and then late hands over the top. That's what I was referring to in the last one about late hands, okay, in the last clip. So when he comes off the line here, I want you to see not afraid of contact, okay? So when we see this DB here squatted up in front of us, we can probably assume he's going to try to get hands on us, right? Now, if you're a DB and you're listening to this, if you're going to press, let's press, right? Let's be physical. Let's get my hands on this receiver. But from a receiver perspective, I got to be ready for it, and I got to have a plan with my hands. So you see how when he comes off here, he initiates the contact. He's ready for it. Who makes the contact first? Mims makes the contact first because he's got to get these hands off. Now you see this DB's a little tall right now, right? And so the low man's going to win. So I got to make sure that I'm going forward, and I got to make sure I get these hands off of me, and I'm just physical, and I'm bursting upfield. Now this is where your speed comes into play. Anybody, I don't care who you are, if you guys got similar speeds, if he has to open up his hips and we're able to just run straight forward, who's going to win this race? Obviously the receiver, right? So if I could because he's got to open up this hip, all the receiver's got to do is just run, and he knows exactly where he's going. So we are going to get some space if we can just get his hands off the line of scrimmage. Now, a lot of people say that, but how do you do that? How do you get hands off of him? Having a plan for your hands and attacking that point of control and initiating the contact. You see how when he rips by here, he's attacking this elbow, that wrist, that forearm. That's a point of control. He's not just swatting the hands. And that's a good job bursting upfield. So now he's in recovery mode. But DB's playing it fine, but the only problem is he doesn't have hands. So what he could do in this situation is if he's pushing vertical with this kind of speed and he has good hips, he has good change of direction, everything opens up, right? He could push vertical, snap it off on a comeback, which is what we're going to see in a second. Go 1, 2, or go right, left, and work an out route, maybe go left, right, work a dig, whatever, rocker step, however he wants to play this thing. But now it's just a straightaway fade. But you see, again, not looking until he's got about a couple steps on this DB, right? So that's when we want to look for the ball. I want to make sure I continue to gain some separation, and then I look back for this ball, and now this ball is thrown perfectly, late hands, right? Late hands. DB's able to see this ball coming, but he doesn't. Then he looks right here to play these hands, right? If I'm showing my hands early, this DB has an idea of where the ball is, and he could just rip right through it. But you see how I'm late with it. DB has no time to react. He has no time to rip through my hands. I just got to make sure that I'm looking this thing in with my eyes and then putting this thing right away to the tuck and protecting that ball. That's a great job here. Great release off the line, being physical so I could get some separation. If I need to take an outside release, this is the position that I need to be in right here, okay? I don't need to break this guy's ankles every time. That's what a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that, I got to break his ankles. I got to do 50 moves just to get him leaning inside, and then it screws up the timing, and then the DB won, right? So I got to make sure that I just got to get to my release, and I got to have something to do at the top of the route, or I can have a plan with my hands and have late hands over the top, okay? But it's not about breaking this guy every time. It's about keeping the timing with the quarterback and being able to get separation. Let's watch it full speed again. So coming off here, initiate the contact. Don't look until we got him by a couple steps, and then late hands over the top. Great route here, okay? So now we're going to be looking at a comeback here. So you see getting the hands off, right? Being physical at the top, working this windshield wiper technique. Let's watch it full speed, my bad. So coming off here, pushing vertical, 1, 2, 3. In and out of this break, right? Same exact speed as the last one, okay? So again, coming off the line of scrimmage here, trying to get hands again. It's just about keeping timing with the quarterback, especially on a comeback specific timing route for quarterbacks. They can't sit back there and hold it. We got to get up into this route. So again, when we want to take this outside release, we just got to work that windshield wiper technique. And this is what I mean by that. Just swat his hands down. Even when we're running, we got to swat. We got to be physical. So now, look at this position. It looks familiar, right? It's the exact same position that we were looking at the last time, but instead he ran a fade, right? Now, let's say this is an actual game here. here, and this DB's gotten beat on that fade before, right? You better believe he doesn't want to get beat twice on the same route, right? That's their biggest nightmare. So he's in oh shit mode, trying to recover, running full speed, trying to gain some ground over the top here. And now what do? I just snap it off. 2, 3 out of the break. There is no way he can recover off of this. Or I shouldn't say recover, but react off of this the exact same time we react if we don't have any indicator with my pad level, okay? So you see how he's running here? Does he slow down? Does he bring his chest up? Does he chatter his feet? Hell no, that's not what he does. He gets in and out of this break as fast as possible because he knows that this DB's looking for any kind of indicator to slow down, to drop his hips, and then make a play on the ball. So I got to make sure I have no indicator with my pad level. I am just running full speed, and I change direction at the drop of a dime. And how I change my direction, I drop my hips violently in stride. You see, we call it snapping down. It's a trigger step. And I bring my chin to my knee. Now, how do I get out of this in 3 steps? His second step, see how it pivots? Because that's getting his hips open back on this 45. And then his third step hooks back around, and this is his drive leg. That third step's going to drive me, and that third step's going to bring me back downhill. And you see, when's he starting to drop his hips? He's going to have to take a couple extra steps. He starts to drop his hips when I'm already driving out of this break. And you see, he shoots by. I just got to pump my arms and come back to the ball. It's a great route here. Great job by Denzel Mims. Watch it full speed one more time. So coming off here, there's a little jab, get the hands off, 1, 2, 3. In and out of this break, violent hips, and just drive out of those steps, okay? 3 hard steps. Now we're going to be looking at this out route here. So let's watch it full speed again. It's my fault. So coming off here, takes it up to the inside, get the shoulders off. Again, swatting that point of control, catching this ball. Great route here, working this inside release on an out route, okay? So a lot of people think that I got to take an outside release on an out breaking route every single time. Now, while that helps, that may not always be the case, right? Because what if he's taking away the outside? What if we're forcing him to the inside? Maybe he's giving up the inside too much, right? So we come off the line of scrimmage here, and I take a fast inside release. Now, what does this DB think? He does not want to chase him all the way across the field, right? So if I could come over the middle of the field fast, that's going to get this DB same thing, overcommitted with the speed. And he's going to be standing up, and he's going to be running because he doesn't want to chase him across the middle of the field. So he's going to be overcommitted. Now, what do I got to do? When I snap down with my inside leg, you see how he's swatting his shoulder by. And I get those hands off of me, and I get him to overcommit, and I just accelerate and pump the brakes, or pump my arms out of the break, okay? So take that inside release because that gets that DB to overcommit. That's why we got to be able to run an out route, a comeback route. I don't necessarily, not a huge fan of the comeback, but it is possible. Like maybe let's say you're running a curl route and you want to take an outside release, right? That's why we got to be able to do both. We got to have 4 or 5 different ways to run every single route. Now the reason why he took the inside release on this, get this DB to overcommit, get him to run because he doesn't want to chase you across the field, then have a plan for my hands at the top of the route, snap this thing off and continue to run out of this break, right? Because he's not open yet. He's got to continue to pump his arms, and the quarterback could have put this thing in front of him and we really would have had a lot of space, okay? Great route here. Let's watch it full speed. So coming off here, inside release, get him to overcommit, swat the shoulders by, and then accelerate out. Great route here. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at this dig here. Same idea as that fade and that comeback we were talking about, okay? So he's going to be giving a little hesitation off the line, or that hitch, right? So let me rewind it to the very beginning, right? So look at his release here. Little hesitation, burst up, swat him by, snaps it off, right? So now, let's look at this. Let's look at this route. So same thing, little hesitation, burst up field. Now he's at the top. Now he's running this thing off of his third inside step, bursting up to about 12 yards here, right? Or he could do this same little hesitation release and then beat him with a fade. It's just all a mind game against this DB, right? I can't stress that enough. This was an actual game. This is one release that you can use on 3 separate occasions, right? You do this little hesitation release, you burst up on a vertical. Little hesitation, burst vertical, hit him with the rocker step at the top. Hesitation, push vertical, run a hitch, right? That's one release that you can use for 3 separate routes, and then you could just screw with this guy all game long. As long as you're in his head and he starts to feel that release, he starts to feel your speed, okay? So again, he gives us a little hesitation, burst up field, right? So that hesitation will lull in this DB to sleep, right? Get his feet moving, get him to slide with you to the outside, then I kick up into second gear, right? We're trying to change the tempo of this guy, right? So I change the tempo up with him. He starts to slow down. Now I kick up into second gear, right? Now again, he's going to be using this rocker step at the top of the route here. So he goes right, left. Now that rocker step, it's important that my upper half is going to the outside, because what's this DB looking at? He's looking at my hips. He's looking at my body. He's not looking at my feet. He's not looking at my head. He's looking at my body. So I got to make sure when I go 1-2, I got to get my body to move, get that DB leaning to the outside. Now when I'm off of that second step, I got to drive. I got to accelerate out of this break and run back over the middle. That's a great route here by Denzel Mims, setting up that thing with the release. Let's watch it full speed one more time. So coming off here, burst up vertical, 1-2, get him leaning outside because my upper half has got to move. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it if you've watched this full thing all the way through. It really means a lot to me. And please leave in the comments any questions or any recommendations you guys have. I'll make sure to get back to you, and I'll see you guys next time.